DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Good evening and welcome to another Monday night here at DJNTV, and tonight we're going to talk social media. That's right, the thing that you either love or hate. It depends who you are. And I'm joined tonight by Eric Wenning from Wenning Branding. Good evening, Eric.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Glad you can make it tonight. This is going to be kind of a fun topic, and it, not only is it something you do on a daily basis and such, but you just came back from social media. Was it Social Media World?
Social media marketing world.
Marketing world. Okay, I get the virtual ticket to it because it's tough to break away when you're going to different trade shows at this time of the year the way it is. So I've gotten that, but you were actually there this past weekend. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to talk about that a little bit, and we're going to kind of go through and kind of find out some of the things that Eric was hearing in the hallways and such, and that he's kind of dealing with it within his branding business, to give you guys a better idea of ways to utilize this beast called social media within your businesses. So, Eric, let's kind of jump into it. Social media marketing world. Tell us a little bit for those who have no idea what this is, what it is.
Well, social media marketing world is kind of like the advertising solution. So this is mainly targeted for marketers, people that actually advertise for other companies or even themselves around the country and even world. So I think there was like almost 6 other countries there besides just people in America. So this was stuff, when they say it's social media marketing world, it's literally world. There's over 4,500 people at this conference. So, Mobile Beat, DJ Times, you got like maybe 1,000, something like that, where this is like 3-4 times the size of this thing. And a lot of it is all just of education. There was only really, I think, 20 booths there
wow.
as far as like sponsorships or vice versa. So there wasn't a whole lot of actual like oversaturation of people trying to sell you stuff. They had a really cool thing. It was a community and they had different tables and chairs color coded for different topics. So for those that wanted to learn more about video, they would sit at this table and they wanted to talk about people that are in the gym business or yoga business or health and fitness, whatever else it may be. There was a table for those different topics for people that wanted to converse and talk. So you kind of, there's so many different people. I mean, 4,500 people is a lot of people. So you have no idea who does what and everything else just by reading a name badge, passing them in the hallway. So I thought it was really cool of them to actually have an entire community set up that was all tables, it was all round tables, and it was where you can go and eat lunch, and then that's where you can also meet all the actual sponsors as well. And we actually were out there mainly because of we designed a complete custom trade show booth for Billy G and his marketing. And he's a huge social media guru, and he was the main sponsor for that entire show. So within that, we created a custom trade show booth for him, and it was completely off the charts. And it was like 16 feet tall, rotating, crazy stuff going on. And he had his own bartender for his booth, and he gave away, I think, 8 laptops. He had this big, huge, like chuck-a-luck wheel in his booth, and he was just, once you sign up for his free trial, he bring you in, and then you can spin the actual wheel. And there was actually a time where they gave away 4 laptops in a row, back to back.
Wow.
He's just like, what the heck is going on? So it was pretty cool.
But I would guess with a drawing and or that kind of a contest going on, he's signing up a very high percentage of that 4,500 people that were in attendance.
He had easy over 200 people that signed up for a free trial for his booth. So that was, out of the 4,500, he probably would love to see a lot more. He probably did get a little bit more, maybe closer to 250. But he did, still a great job. And this was his first time actually at the trade show for Social Media Marketing World. And he spoke on his YouTube course and everything else like that as well, too. Because let's face it, video is exactly where everything else is going nowadays.
Very much so, very much so. And we'll kind of bounce into that a little bit more. You mentioned he had a YouTube course. Now, was you had mentioned before we went on air that he's a social media marketing guru. Is he utilizing then having courses in different areas, or is he really just focusing in on YouTube right now?
He has many different platforms. He has a course for like the basic structure for people that have no idea how to advertise on social media at all whatsoever, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Those are the really three things that he really focuses the best on. And he does a lot of YouTube. He does a lot of different unique videos to capture people's attention and ideas and ways to, educate all the different niches and markets and to educate you so you can go out there and do it yourself almost.
Mm-hmm. And some of those tips and ideas for creating unique videos. I saw a promo video you did for your entertainment company. Oh goodness, yep. When did that air? I think I saw it about a month ago.
Yeah, we probably launched that off right around middle of January. So we did a little bit of a different take. What I see out there a lot is DJs just saying, hey, look at me, look at my awesome video, or look at this crazy wedding we're about to do behind us. Yep. Let's go inside. And you're just showing a bunch of B-roll footage of people dancing. I mean, because I can edit that crap together and make my grandfather look good. I mean, so what is really, you're just you're being very misleading against to the prospects. And, you're just showing a bunch of B-roll footage and that's it. I mean, so what we did is we kind of took a different context and a different take on it and trying to educate the actual bride and the bride prospect and trying to tell them like all the different aspects of what to look for out of an actual professional rather than a hobbyist and, make sure that they have proper backup, etc. And we did it kind of like a Dollar Shave Club kind of feel. And we did it here in our brand new office. And we've gotten great reviews about it, booked a lot of weddings from it as well. But there is some DJ hatred out there just because we use the word hobbyist, God forbid. So it is what it is. You can't please everyone.
Especially in this industry. And that goes back to the conversation we had off camera a little bit ago. But we won't get into that one. That was right. Okay, audio sync issues. Yeah, it must be YouTube. I think from looking. Yeah, I'm on and Eric's on, so it must be some lag going on out there. Very slight. Okay, we'll live with very slight. There have been some nights.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
You good? Sound good, and your timing. You're right on. So it's not. There must be maybe something out there.
Let's start doing a Jeff Dunham kind of thing, Yeah,
precisely. All of a sudden, is this like a weird, dubbed in?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Chinese movie of some sort. Yes, it is. This is it. Okay, nice. So I want to get back into the video side a little bit later. Let's kind of talk about what social media platforms were people really kind of wanting to touch base and talk about. Maybe they had the most questions about at this year's show.
A lot of it was about the Facebook changes of the rules and regulations of how they're going to start focusing more on keeping the content within your news feed more relative closer to like your friends and your family and what you're engaging with more, right? So that was a big topic that the CEO of Social Media Marketing World talked about, because he has a direct contact with Facebook, talking with them, with being such, so big into the actual world of what they do. And a lot of it has to come with, Facebook is kind of challenging us as marketers to create better content, create more challenging content that is more shareable, that will actually link the different things, share it to other friends and family, and also comment on the most. So when people start commenting on a post, for example, and whether they're bashing it good or bad, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Facebook loves that because it's content that is actually being shared and it's getting a lot of responses. So Facebook hikes that up in its actual responses. So even if you were out there bashing just content constantly, you're doing the advertiser a huge favor. So we should probably thank you.
Precisely. We've had that conversation even on YouTube, is that, it's always nice to see the thumbs up, but hey, give the thumbs down. What the hell? It doesn't matter. It's engagement and YouTube. Or if you want to go and tell me I'm stupid, put it in the comment section after the video is done. Go right ahead. Have at it.
Stupid the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'll just laugh my way to the back.
Please make sure you use keywords like, John, the Grammys are stupid. John, you're stupid. John, Taylor Swift is stupid. Please make sure you're using some of those keywords.
Exactly.
That's funny. You mentioned just a second ago, and this is a little bit of a tangent. You mentioned that one of the things that Facebook wants to do is have it so that your family and the people you engage with, that you're going to see more of that. One thing I've seen a lot that people are wanting to have more engagement on their posts and such. They put up hey, I'm not seeing as many of your posts out there. Can you please, go click and drop one word so that way you'll show up in my news feed more. From everything I've read, now, if you put that post up and I go and I engage on your thing, I'm going to see more from you, but you're not necessarily going to see more from me because you didn't engage some of my posts. Am I following this correctly? That basically this is a way that people are like trying to make it sound like you're going to help me, and really all they're doing is just helping to keep their showing up in more people's news feeds.
Yeah, I mean, you got to like things both ways, right? I like you and you like me, and that's kind of going around. So whatever you start to like more of, or whatever kind of post that you're liking more, especially even with different businesses that you're associating with, or you really are loving this one gym that you're going to, or this new coffee shop, or vice versa, that they're advertising to. So they're going to show you more things like that as well too. But also another thing is, if you click a lot on actual ads, you will be kind of targeted into more of a landing page view, where you will actually, there's a different segment within the different sections of Facebook Ads Manager and conversion techniques of whether you want to actually, you're a person that just clicks on the actual link, meaning that like your Facebook business page, instead of actually clicking on learn more and going to the landing page and going through the offers and everything else as well too. So there's so much stuff that is out there, and it's still overwhelming. And I'm not an expert by any means for all that stuff, because everything else is changing regularly. I mean, every time you go into the back end of Facebook with Ads Manager or anything else with a Business Manager aspect, it's changing almost weekly. There's new things being changed. It's kind of confusing. You have to go try to hunt and peck and try to find it. And, there's different ways to do it, but there's a lot of knowledge out there. And really, Facebook Blueprint, if you just Google that, it's its own course for people that want to advertise on Facebook, so that it is actually, a schooling, program that's free, that's out there. So you can learn more of what the actual Facebook policies and regulations, so your ads don't get denied. And so that you're meeting the regulations whenever you're creating a proper ad for Facebook as well.
You mentioned, of course, objectives, and that I think is one of the huge areas that a lot of people. First off, if you just boost a post, the objective part is almost completely non-existent, which means that your post is not going to be as effective as it could be for what you want it to happen. Objectives generally in Ad Manager is where you can go, and if I want to click so people go to my website. I want people to see this post and that will basically engage this post. I want people to watch this video. Whatever, there's different objectives that they have, and these will, as Eric was saying, be served to people who are likely to do that. So when I want people to watch this video, it will be served to people who have a propensity to watch videos that are appealing to them within that audience that I wanted to select. So if I have 100,000 people, there might be only 3,000 people who are really into watching the video, and that means that Facebook is going to aim that video more towards them to get to that objective that I'm after. That whole area, as you said, it changes so quickly, but I mean, it's such an in-depth study that it's It's really,
it's nuts.
Yeah, it is. It's a full-time
The
job.
whole thing is too, you really have to realize that you have 3 to 5 seconds. That's it. 3 to 5 seconds with video in order to capture someone's attention. If not, guess what they just did? They just scrolled past you.
Bloop, gone.
And if you don't be able to catch them with a hook or catch them with some kind of stopping factor, like we always say whenever we're doing this stuff, using props, holding up stop signs, waving your hand at them and telling them to hold on a second, doing different silly things, or even holding a box, because people are going to scroll and like, well, what's in the box? I wanted to see what's in the box.
Yep.
You arouse curiosity, because that's what gets people to want to actually buy things as well too. I mean, that's the main thing. People, you need to be able to, rouse curiosity with that is the main thing, and, get them into a proper sales funnel. That's what a lot of these DJs don't understand, is whenever you're doing social media advertising, is there is a proper sales funnel with advertising and everything else. Russell Branson owns ClickFunnels and created ClickFunnels, which is a platform that is used to create landing pages, kind of like websites, but much more simplified, and to create engaging posts and vice versa with that, right? So it kind of goes hand in hand with Facebook and vice versa. So he talks about the methodology for McDonald's, right? So think about this. So McDonald's, it costs McDonald's $1.91 in advertising just to get you into the drive-thru, right? Just to get you to pull up to the drive-thru, it costs McDonald's $1.91. So they try to sell you a burger for $2.09. They're only making like 18 cents profit, and that's it, right? But the whole thing is they're going to upsell you a fries and a Coke, because you don't go to McDonald's and just buy one cheeseburger, really,
Most
right?
people don't, yeah.
So you're buying fries, you're buying a Coke. Hey, if you don't want to buy fries and a Coke, that's an upsell, right? But hey, you don't want to do that. What are they going to do for a downsell? Oh, do you want 2 apple pies, 2 for like 99 cents? Sure, I'll throw in the apple pies really quick, right? Sure, okay, fine, okay. I'm having my fat day or my cheat day, right? So you can do that. So that's a downsell. Same thing in business, right? So you're sending them through the funnel. Once you get them to click on the actual landing page, you have to be able to have an enticing offer for them to be able to click on it to begin with, right? So that's the main thing these other DJs are not understanding, is you have to be able to give an offer away, because even if you see like a Subway commercial and they say, look at our sub, it's the best thing ever, it's amazing, come buy it. But you don't give an offer, so you're not going to go to Subway. You're like, well, I can go to my local pizza shop and get a hoagie there too, and for the same price as Subway, and it's closer than Subway. But Subway is like, hey, it's a $5 foot long, or it's this, and then you get a $5 foot long with fries and a bag of chips. So you have to think like these other bigger businesses, because they're obviously doing something right, because they're making more money than you. So that's the main thing, is it's okay to copy it. It's okay to copy that method, but you have to be able to get people in to your offer, your landing page, and then be able to take them through your sales funnel from there. That's what a lot of DJs are losing on.
And I think, and it's that concept it's for most DJs, they're looking at that funnel idea and they're like, oh, this is for online sales or for ebooks or what have you. Done properly, it can work very well. And I think this next generation that's coming up that has grown up with funnels and understand, utilizing these in their daily purchases, this isn't some foreign thing for them. It's like, yeah, I get that. I need to sign up and then I expect something. And then, if that little workbook on how to have a better wedding is good, I might move forward and do the next thing.
Absolutely. I mean, whether you give away, who knows, a percentage or an hour for free, or you give away some uplights, or you give away like a photo booth half off, or something else that's not going to cost you a lot of money, but then you can make the money back up in your upsells down the line. Once you get him as a customer and just get him as a client, then you can go ahead and sell anything else you want to them, because they're already a client. They already trust you. You've already broken that barrier. They already have given you money. That's the main thing, right? So you want to be able to get them there, start to do amazing customer service, which that is lacking in America. So even if you do an ounce like better than the worst person, you're going to do fantastic. I mean, hell, if you just answer your damn phones, you'll be fine too, right?
Exactly. You respond to your chats and such, or Messenger. I'm saying chat, but Messenger, the number of people who are communicating by Messenger. I had it over the weekend. I had 3 people who were in that other filtered folder that were asking for wedding information. Yep. How many times people don't even bother to go and look in that the other filtered area, and it doesn't show up for some reason on your feed, and you're like, oh yeah, there's nothing there. Well, yeah, there was.
Yeah, well, the other thing is what was really big in social media marketing world was bots. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I've got an idea, but kind of explain the bot.
All right, so messenger bots. So you can actually create a bot, like an automated bot. So it will actually, when someone comes up, messages you, it'll greet you like a normal person. So you can filter out an entire conversation with yourself that you're imagining that person to say yes or no to, or whatever else, and you can capture all their information from it. You can already pre-qualify the prospect without even talking to them beforehand. And it looks like they're still talking to a real person. And then you can always chime in at any time and interrupt the bot and make it seem like it's even more personable. You're like, oh my God, they're talking just to me directly about it. It's crazy. Like, how did he know I was going to be here or whatever else? So, I mean, that was a huge, huge factor. That is the next wave that is coming. And if you don't have that set up and you don't have any kind of automated bot system with your company or anything like that as well too, you're going to be left in behind in the dust as well too, because that is another sales tactic that is huge. And just getting people to be able to interact. Just, I mean, people are always sitting at home doing nothing or on the couch, whatever, just scrolling and just trolling as well too.
Oh, yeah.
And just trying to find out more information. And it doesn't behoove them to message someone at 11 o'clock at night and just say, hey, how much? Hey, but first, going through a whole, different protocol. So are you looking for DJ? Are you looking for photography or lighting? What are you looking for? Then you take them through that different funnel, but it's made for the specific bots.
Now, was that bot that they were showing there? Because we actually have one that we have been working with that's a third party connection with the Messenger area. Is that what they were kind of talking about as third party, or is Facebook going to be implementing some of that into Messenger themselves?
Yeah, so what I have actually been using is called Chat Fuel. So I've used Chat Fuel. It's free up to so many different aspects and so many different, so many different levels of it, or how many different bots you put into it. So I've been using that lately and getting to learn that, because it still is relatively new and there's so many different things you can do to it. It says you can have it pull up automated pictures as well too. Instead of just text, it can throw up pictures. It can send PDFs automatically to your clients. It can do a lot of different things automatically. And another tool that we use a lot is called Zapier. It's Zapier. I don't know if you've ever used this before too.
I used it heavily for about a year, and then we found a different service that is built in.
Cool.
But yeah.
Nice. So there's different things out there that makes things automated, makes things a lot easier for our clients from the branding side. So if someone opts in through a ClickFunnels page, it automatically sends them an actual email. It puts their information into, say, Google Docs, or it throws their information into, like, say, DJ Event Planner or something like that as well too. And so it throws it all into different other systems to make things very fluid and makes things easier for your other team to actually work on things as well too. Even if you're a single man or a multi-op, doesn't matter. It makes things easier for you rather than more difficult.
Yeah. Zapier is one I would highly recommend, because I think you can have up to 20 different actions for free on Zapier.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like 15 or 20 different actions for the first month, or if not, then it's like $15 a month after that.
Yeah, it was dirt cheap, and we get to the point where we needed to upgrade to something that was a little bit, because every once in a while, Zapier and Facebook don't play nicely together. You'd be like, oh, there must be something wrong with your Facebook account, and it's like, yeah, it's because we have you set up for so many that Facebook only limits so many hits per day, and we've exceeded that. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, big old funnel to get the data out, and it just limits it and shrinks it and everything else.
Yeah,
so,
but it's a great app.
Sometimes.
Great application there for those who are looking for that automation side of it. Good stuff there. But yeah, Messenger is definitely I think the future. Even text messaging is still a thing with that younger generation. But I find I've got my 20-year-old who's down in college, and it's interesting. They don't go on Facebook virtually at all, but they're loving and they're on Messenger. And Messengers, if we're going to get a message from them, it's not a phone call. It's coming across on Facebook Messenger. And I'm okay.
Yeah, that Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, those are the main things for even the millennial generation with everything else. So that's where they are kind of, focusing on and just doing either Snapchat ads or doing different Snapchat filters for even, your venue that you're playing at. You can easily put a geo map around your venue location for that specific day for whatever, $5-10 or something like that as well, and put your logos and put your own Snapchat filter on it, or even do it for your customers as well. But you can do it a way to actually advertise your business for every single venue that you're playing at. And it's for $5 or $10 is really nothing, depending on the square footage of your venue, of course, as well too.
That's interesting how they've got that all laid out, and
it is nuts. I think it's like minimum of 20,000 square feet, though, right?
There was some, I don't remember what it was. It's been about a year since I looked at that at all, and part of me is waiting for Snapchat to go away. It's like
I really don't think it is.
I probably not, because I'm hoping
a dog face or whatever else. All the silly features and whatnot of it. I mean, it's just, everyone has ADD nowadays, or I swear. So it's just, what kind of filter is going to be on next? I'm like, I'm going to look like a pirate or a dog or a cat or whatever the hell else, So
let's continue talking about, things that are on the way out or are gone. When we hit was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were at a social media event that was going on. And they were actually saying MySpace. They actually talked about MySpace at this event, saying that MySpace has been trying to make a comeback. I haven't seen anything since that. So we're going to put, unless you've heard something different, I'm thinking that they are still on their way.
What was that again? What was
MySpace?
Yeah.
You probably didn't hear about MySpace, but close to that, Twitter. What did you hear anything about Twitter down there? I mean, it just seems like it's become this thing that's, if it wouldn't be for the president, I don't know if Twitter would be around right now.
Right. There is Twitter's trying to come out with some Twitter ads. Some different advertising, things like that as well too. And they have been, but they're trying to be a little bit more aggressive with it because of Facebook cracking everything else down. There wasn't a whole lot of conversation with Twitter.
Yeah.
The main things was Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And right now, though, is YouTube is where Facebook was 4 or 5 years ago. So this is what people need to understand. Build up your YouTube channel. It's really simple to advertise on YouTube. How to track your different conversions on YouTube, things like that as well too. If you don't know that much about it, need to educate yourself. There's different programs out there, things like that too, that you can learn from. You can do different ads for like $5 a day, $10 a day, because what people don't realize is whenever you're watching a video on YouTube, right, and you see that skip the video, right? You ever see that little bumper?
Of course.
Right? So the thing is, if you actually watch that entire video for the full 30 seconds, that's when you get charged. But you don't get charged until they actually watch the full 30 seconds. So you now have 5 seconds to grab someone's attention and make them continue to watch your video to click on your stuff. So whenever you're advertising on YouTube, if you're just advertising, you can get a ton of impressions for free, and you're not paying for a damn thing unless they actually watch your video for the full 30 seconds. That's pretty nuts. That's pretty powerful.
Oh, very much so.
Something out there for $5 a day, and then just let an ad run, something like that as well too. And if you chew up $5 in that day, so what? But the whole thing is you can get a lot more impressions out there and a lot more people that are actually viewing it constantly. And but once again, you have only 5 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds to get your brand out there and in front of someone's face, so they actually can recognize it, like McDonald's or Starbucks or anything else like that as well too.
And I think that's why you see some of the guys who are doing and I'm probably seeing them because of where I've gone in my web searches and such. But you're seeing some of these guys who are creating these funnel and online businesses where they're trying to, hey, I'm going to show you how to do this. And they're trying to get you, how to make $10 million, and go to this website. You can hit this website right now and go there. And of course, it's like, okay, if I hit that right now, They haven't paid anything for that ad. They've got my attention. I just went to their website. They've gotten everything you want, and they didn't have to pay a darn thing for it because I didn't hit that 30-second magical time limit. And it's like, oh, that's kind of smart.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different tips and tricks of what you can do, and using Facebook pixels and the tracking within YouTube as well too. You can tag everything else, and I can know exactly what page you actually landed on, whether you put something in your shopping cart and you didn't check out, or how long you actually watched my video. Everything else, I can tell everything else about you by that, and it's kind of scary if you think about it.
Yeah, it really is how much information is available, and we all experience that when you go to a website, you go to Walmart's website, and the next thing you know, every ad you see across the internet is a Walmart. If you hit the diaper section, you're going to see ads for Walmart diapers. Everywhere you go.
So here's definitely one thing that we just went through a process, and this will definitely help out people whenever you're trying to write ad copy for Facebook ads. So we went through this entire process. We have a client for doing health insurance, and they were doing like a faith-based program, right? So within that, we're trying to write different ad copy within Facebook's regulations, making sure we're not saying different words that would offend different people of religions and vice versa, right? So there's a lot of stepping stones that we have to I guess wade her very easily with, right? Mm-hmm. So the thing is, Facebook hates the word you, your, any contents of that. So you have to watch how you use that. So if your ad gets kind of denied, you are probably using the word you way too much, and you can get away with it a little bit. But if you start using that in your main headline, your main first call to action, or your hook that you're trying to write your ad copy with, it might get denied. And if you have had that issue happen before, that is probably one of the reasons why. And I got a hold of a Facebook rep of mine, and I talked to them about this, and they basically explained to me that they don't want you as a person. If I was targeting you and saying like, hey, you just looked at some hotels in Italy, and this hotel would be fantastic. So they would say that it is like almost being looked at as Big Daddy, looking down on you and watching everything that you do. So they want marketers to be more creative in different contexts of the text that they use and the ads that they use, so that you're not saying, hey, I know you were just watching that hotel in Italy, ha ha ha, I'm watching everything else you do now. So it's like they wanted to make sure that it's not like that, but still I'm like, well, that's kind of very contradiction from what you just said, because if I go onto Amazon and I put in like speaker cable or whatever else I'm looking for, vice versa, and then next thing you know, I'm starting to see that in Facebook. So you're kind of telling me that you don't want to do it, but you're still doing it. You're like, well, and they start like trying to play the BS game and like, well, other businesses use different pixels and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, the same thing what we do as marketers. We do the same exact thing. So it's how you retarget the people and how you track your data and how you target those different ads to those exact people with the audience insight tools within Facebook. So it's just so much political BS. It's pretty funny.
And as you mentioned earlier, these things change so quickly that even some of the things we're talking about today, by next month, some of this could be completely changed. It could be that this is not their focus and what they're wanting to do.
I mean, their shareholders kind of run that company, so they're going to start prattling and proking, Zuckerberg saying like, hey, well, you know what? That's cool. You put out that little comment to make people feel warm and fuzzy inside. Let's get back to business and start making some more money again. Yeah. So that's exactly the whole thing,
Yeah, for sure. If you think they're out there to make your life easier, not so much.
That's crazy.
Not so much the case.
Yeah, no doubt.
We got to have probably about 15 minutes or so, give or take. I wanted to kind of dig into the video side a little bit more. And we did talk a little bit about that earlier, about your demo video and such. But what, for people who are wanting to get into doing video to help their business, and we'll talk about a mobile entertainment business, what should be some of the things that they're kind of thinking about as they're getting into it, especially if they really haven't gotten into that realm yet?
Be creative. You got to make something that's stopping power, something that's people are going to want to watch. If you're just kind of following the herd of everything else that everyone else is doing, then you're going to be thrown into that category, and no one else is really going to pay attention to you. So even your ads on Facebook, if you're just posting just a picture up and sitting of, say, a crowd with all their hands up and just all screaming and having a great time, that's great, fine and dandy. That was good Facebook ads 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep.
Not good Facebook ads now. They want to see video. They want to be interactive. And they want to be engaging with them as far as that goes. But they also want to be able to, you got to have, number one, a prop in order to stop their attention. Right. So when I say like holding a box or the beginning part of my actual video was a big focus and a zoom out on a huge fake diamond ring of a guy proposing. And then I walk in and I interrupt and I step right between them saying that, hey, did this just happen to you? So within the first 3 to 5 seconds, I'm asking a question to my exact target audience of what that ad was going to, for brides that just got engaged. So like, oh, wait, what is that? Like they're stopping because they see this huge freaking rock.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you're going to, right? And then it goes right into the ad. So you have to be able to do something creative and be personable. Get in front of the camera and be one-on-one.
Yep.
I mean, talking directly into the camera, talking directly to the actual bride. You know, the thing is, they don't want to just see animated, notepads or animated kind of, whiteboards, things like that anymore. They want to be able to put a face to the actual, the person that they're actually talking to, because a lot of it, what you're doing is you're setting them through a funnel, and you want that to be a more of a one-on-one personal like journey. You don't want it to be just like you don't want it to look very spammy. You don't want it to look like they're like, oh, come into this dark room and then you're going to come over here and everything else. You know what I mean? So you got to make it sure that, you're personable on the actual video as far as that goes. And that's one big thing as well.
Yeah.
But as far as like, I think you're talking about all the different equipment as well too.
Yeah. And that's certainly part of it. But I think the idea that's a secondary, because you can have content. I've seen some content that's been shot with a cell phone that has been incredible. And not that the cell phones are they've really come a long way in the last few years, but you can have some incredible things that are shot with that. I've seen some incredible video that have been eye-catching and have had incredible response that have been static images, but they've done some cool things with those static images and making a flow. It's just creative.
Yeah, absolutely. One crazy tip that you guys, some people might think of or not, utilize your local college. Wherever your local college is, there's probably a video program in that. There's people that actually want to have that will work for free just to put some stuff on their resume or their B-roll footage for their own reel. So go out there, try to put out some ads out there for the local colleges, maybe even working like a little internship program, or even reach out to those people. And you can utilize these kids and they'll design something and put something together for you for free or next to nothing. And that's just one way to do it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've met many of them that would love to have their name for a project. And it's like, oh, yes, I did this for, this entertainment company. I did this for this company. They need to have that portfolio as they go forward and interview for businesses like your business, where they're like, hey, we want to work for your branding company. Well, what have you done in the past? Well, let me show you my portfolio.
Yeah, because when we're hiring new people as well too, and we're looking at interns, I want to see industry, products. I want to see products that have actually worked on the actual industry. I don't want to just see something that you just, came out with in your living room. I want to see something that you actually worked with a client. You were personable. You conversed back and forth. You went through problems. They told you no 5 different times, and they hated that. And I wanted to see how you actually bounced back from it. So, I mean, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like companies want to see that stuff, So they want to see industry-led projects.
You mentioned earlier with YouTube, in regards to YouTube, that YouTube is kind of where Facebook was about 4 years ago, and you were recommending that a person really, starts to build up their channel. And I've heard some people talk about that YouTube is kind of on the way down, or that people aren't watching videos there as much because there are other places out there. What have you heard, that YouTube is being more proactive with things that's making it that you feel like they're like Facebook was 4 years ago, or what did you kind
Yeah,
of
I
bring
mean,
it?
the whole thing is everything out there in talking, the people that are actually ahead of all the curves more than what anyone in the industry of the entertainment world, stuff like that, too. I mean, YouTube is a big factor. People always go to YouTube for educational stuff like, hey, how do I build this barn in my backyard? People are going to go to YouTube for that stuff. It's not really declining. And the main thing is, with everything else within YouTube, I mean, it's definitely growing within different facets of what you need to do with YouTube is put out educational pieces as well. I mean, people always say that, and there's a mixed handful of people out there that was actually at the conference. People are like, oh, well, you don't want to put out too much educational stuff, but like the whole thing is my whole idea of this is you educate the bride. People will share educational stuff rather than self-promotional stuff, right?
Sure.
Unless the self-promotional video is like really, really cool, like a Dollar Shave Club ad or something like that. That's what we try to do, right? But we put out wedding tips every single Wednesday. It's Wenning's Wedding Tip Wednesday, right? It's a tongue twister. But we put out tips that go all across the board, from like cake tips. Now, this month in March coming up, we're talking about name change tips of where to go, how to do it. Give you a complete like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of a list of how to actually do it. And we're giving it to you for free. And these brides are just sharing it. So if the whole thing is these brides are looking for you and they see that you're that knowledgeable on this topic rather than just, some guy starting out, they want to be able to see that you actually know what the hell you're talking about too, rather than just like, hey, I'm a DJ, look at me, look, I can mix, look, I'm fancy. It's not like that at all. They want to be able to actually see that you know what the hell you're talking about rather than blowing smoke.
So we've got your tip video, Wednesday tip video. Where do you publicize it in the social media realm? Does it start on YouTube and stay there? Do you do a version on YouTube?
Everywhere. Okay. It goes everywhere. We put it on LinkedIn. We go Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, and we'll put like little snippets on like Snapchat to go to it. The whole thing is I created this. So whenever you're doing educational videos, you base all your educational stuff on the minimum amount of time that you have to educate the prospect. Now, Instagram will only let you put up a video for 1 minute. So I made all of my videos 1 minute in length. So then therefore people like we're just talking about like ADD, like you can't watch something for like 5-7 minutes and people are like, oh, well, I'm going to go on here now. I'm going to go over here now. So 1 minute you can capture their audience, because when we have bumpers in and bumpers out, there's really only 45 seconds of content. So we have 45 seconds of content to give that person. So within that, we put a little thing together for everyone else, and we share it everywhere. So it's pretty nuts.
So you mentioned bumper in and bumper out. The whole concept that was talked about a few years back is the idea of having a hook at the beginning of the video. I'm going to have that hook, and then I can bumper. Then I can get in content. Is that hook still that important, or is it something that you just have got to get into it so quickly, or what's your feeling with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still having a hook in the beginning to get people a part of it. Like hell, even just having your camera and you're doing a little video saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to do this. Once you come in, sit down with me, and I'm going to show you on the whole meeting process of how we interview our brides or whatever else, and take them inside to your building or your office or wherever else, and show them how you actually interact and how you are in your environment. Show them your environment, bring them in, lead them in like that as well too. So there's many different facets, but also always trying to do a hook or a lead in is always key whenever you're doing these videos.
It's going to be a little tangent here, but you mentioned basically the Wizard of Oz situation where you're going to show them a little bit behind the curtain with that. I've heard from people that is huge right now, is that you have the couples who want to get to know the personal side, what have you, not only of how the business or what's behind your back, that's what's behind my set here, but they want to know a little bit about the person that they're working with. Are you finding that too, or was that just?
I find out both different avenues. I kind of preach one thing, and this is a little bit different. For me to show my DJ sitting down and doing like an interview series, I kind of preach against it, because the whole thing is, if you really want to talk to my guys, you can come in, sit down, meet with them, and talk to them one-on-one. But when people are like, oh, well, send me over a video of, your guys performing. Well, do you have a video of you guys performing as clients? It's really difficult for me to kind of show you what we're going to do at your wedding that I've never been at before, that we have no clue what objectives we're going to run into. We're going to have that crazy uncle that's going to throw a beer at us. I have no idea. But the thing is, or you give me a playlist that's 300 songs long. So, I mean, there's a lot of different facets to it of, like, we build our reputation on referrals, word of mouth, hotel recommendations, etc. So whenever we get an actual referral, in more or less, it's a warm lead rather than a cold lead.
Sure.
So that's kind of like where we see it more as, but we are showing more and more the back end kind of thing, and people, they do like that.
Yeah.
And they want to see a little bit of it, but like the whole thing of, it just all depends on everyone's selling preference on how they want to do it. And I believe otherwise as far as it goes, because it's done all the time. If it's done all the time, you're beating a dead horse. And, that's where we kind of want to do something different as far as that goes.
Yeah, my one experience, because I do a lot of videos from gigs and events and such for the Disc Jockey News, and those are the behind the scenes, we'll call it, for lack of a better way to describe it. And I've had a couple of weddings who had booked me because they have found those videos and they were watching. Oh, yeah. And I was talking about, one particular one was talking about how the speakers and the throw of speakers and how they covered the room so well. And a couple was like, we need that for our reception. We need to have speakers and sound and someone who knows what they're doing enough to make it happen right.
Yeah.
So that behind the scenes, sometimes those gig log things that some people feel are kind of silly, sometimes will lead to well, you don't know who's watching them really nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when things start getting shared, they just go out into internet land, and God knows who will actually stumble upon some stuff or who they'll actually share it to, and vice versa.
I've got a couple minutes left, and we'll wrap up. Let's in relation to social media and websites, what does a website become nowadays? I mean, at one time it was basically the hub of everything we did. Is it still that, or has it taken kind of a new use in our businesses?
They will be gone. They will be gone within the next couple of years. Watch, they'll be overtaken by funnels. And what I mean by that, when Russell Brunson is definitely ahead of the curve whenever he owns ClickFunnels. If you don't know about it, research it, look it up. So within that is, your website is just there for informational purposes, right? So don't you want your website to actually make you money? Isn't that the whole purpose of actually having a website? Instead of it actually, someone comes into your website, they put in a lead generation form to actually learn a little bit more about that person, and then send them through a funnel to actually, selling them something, making money off.
Right.
Isn't that the whole purpose? We're all here to just make money. We're not in here just for shits and giggles, right?
For sure.
So, I mean, the whole thing is we're here to make money and make a living and pay, support our family and et cetera. So the whole thing is, everything's going to be turning into a funnel nowadays. And whenever people, they don't understand that yet, quote me that it will be converted over, and people will just start, instead of making an entire website, you can create an entire funnel on ClickFunnels within 10, 15 minutes, half hour, even an hour if you want to get really fancy with it. And it can be so simple, and it's so easy as how you can do it. And that's the way everything else is going to be going now. Quote me on that.
And I think just to put that in perspective, we see this in the newspaper industry from our local newspaper and even around the state. And to give you guys an example is that you can go on social media, you can follow some of their posts, the news articles, but now you're getting to their website and you might be able to see an article or two for free, but they want you to sign up and so they can get your email. And then from the email, then they're going to be able to market to you and sell you, whether it's a subscription online or they're going to sell you the print thing that comes, whatever. But the idea is that these are, in the most basic view, a version of a ClickFunnel to get you there, so they can market and make a sale.
No, absolutely. That's definitely where things are going to be going as well too. Absolutely.
Very good. Well, I think that wraps up our time. Eric, people have questions if they would, want to dig in a little bit more with doing some branding things or hire you to come out and help them design an incredible bridal show booth. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
You can go to wenningbranding.com. It's like wedding, but with 2 N's. So it's WENNING, right? So it's pretty easy, right? So wenningbranding.com. You look us up on Facebook. You can just look me up on Facebook as well, too. Friend me, message me, whatever else you would like to do. And my other company, Wenning Entertainment. So same thing, wenningentertainment.com or wenningent.com. And, check us out, and we can always get back to you and help you out with any of your branding needs as well, too.
Sounds great. Eric, I want to thank you for your time. Our time just went so fast tonight. Hoofda.
There's so much knowledge in this stuff. It's ridiculous.
There is. Yeah, we should definitely plan to a time later this spring to dive into that Snapchat a little bit. That's an area that a lot of people ask questions on, and I think that filters idea would be something we should dig into a little bit if you have some time.
Even if some of the other ads, like Facebook ads, on why they aren't converting as well too, I'd love to talk a little bit more about that to help other people out as well too. So
yeah, we should do some exam. I was just thinking as we were going through that, it's like, oh yeah, we should have an ad manager, some of those ad manager pages up and such, so we can show some of those objective things. So we'll dig into those and see. For those of you who have got some questions or something, please put those down in the comments section down below. If there's an area in which you'd like us to dig into, this would be a great area to put that, so we can plan for next time. So Eric, thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes with our second show tonight, talking about if the DJ should be the center of attention.